In this video, we'll discuss how to name and write formulas for binary ionic compounds. So ionic compounds are basically just compounds with cations bonded to anions, like right here. You have a cation that's bonded to two anions. This is due to the electrostatic attraction. In other words, positives are attracted to negatives. Now, most of these compounds, if you mix them with water, they will dissociate into their ions. So sodium chloride, for example, dissociates into sodium and chloride ions. The overall charge of the compound is 0. So in this example, we have magnesium with a 2 plus that's bonded to two chlorides that are -1. If you do the math, it equals 0. These compounds are not individual molecules, they're crystals. And we call the formula for these a formula unit because it shows the lowest whole number ratio of the ions in that compound. When you write the name and the formula, you always list cation first, cation's on the left, and the anion is on the right. Now when you name it, you write the name of each ion. The cation is just the name of the element. The anion is the name of the element, but you change the ending to "ide." And then of course your formula listed cation, anion, just like the name. Now when you're writing the formula, you have to know the charge of every group, so all the elements in each group. Transition metals, we'll talk about that later, but you'll use this to help you write the formulas. And when you write the formula, first thing is you have to determine whether it's ionic or molecular. If it's a metal bonded to a nonmetal, ionic. Second step, write the formula, the symbol and the charge for each ion. So aluminum is in group 3A, it has a 3 plus charge. Sulfide is in group 6A, it has a 2 negative charge. And then remember the overall charge has to be 0. So if you have 2 aluminums, your overall charge is 6. And if you have 3 sulfides, the overall charge is -6. So 6 minus 6. So it would be Al2S3. So 2 aluminums, 3 sulfurs. Now there's a shortcut for that. It's called swap and drop. And in swap and drop, we take the number for the charge, the magnitude of the charge, the number, and we swap and drop over to the other element. Remember, this is just a trick. You can do the math if you want. And then you do that for both. So sulfide has a 2 negative. We just take the 2, we don't take the negative, and you swap and drop over to the other element, Al2S3. Sometimes you have to simplify your units. If you have a 2 and a 4, for example, you have to simplify that to a 1 and a 2. And then naming, first you need the formula or you need the ions. Remember, the name is the name of the cation, then the name of the anion. So you use the periodic table to get the ions. Rubidium's in group 1A, so it has a +1 charge. You just take the name of the element. The anion, S, is in group 6A, has a 2 negative charge, and plus, here's a cheat sheet. So we would call that sulfide. We don't call it sulfur, we call it sulfide. So this is rubidium sulfide.